Welcome back, welcome back. We are looking at Module 3, Topic A, Lesson 1, and the objective asks us to make equivalent fractions with the number line, the area model, and with numbers. So we're going to take a look at all three of those right here. Let's go ahead and get started. Directions for number 1 says we're going to use the folded paper strip. We don't have the folded paper strip, so we're just going to go ahead and place the number or mark the points 0 and 1 above the number line and 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3 below it. So we know that our number line will start down here with 0, and we're going to go all the way up to 1. So that's our 0 mark, and there's our 1 above the number line. Then below it, we're going to put our 0/3, which is equal to 0, and we know that 3/3 is equal to 1 whole. So now we look at our number line, we say we still need to get our 1/3 and our 2/3 marks on here. So we need to split this 1 whole into 3 parts. That means we need 2 partitions. So this is going to be 1/3, and this is going to be 2/3. Second part here asks us to draw 2 vertical lines to break each rectangle into thirds. So let's go ahead and do that first. I'm going to use my vertical line tool. We're going to take and make 2 vertical lines on each rectangle to split each one into thirds. Alright, so now we can see each rectangle is split into thirds. We're going to shade in 1/3. We're going to shade in 1/3 of each. Alright, so now we can see that we have 1/3 of each of our 4 rectangles shaded in. We're going to go ahead and follow the rest of the directions. We shaded in the left 1/3, or the left third of each, and now we're going to partition with horizontal lines to show equivalent fractions. So as you can see, here they give us the example, they give us the multiplication to show the change in the units, but we have to still make our horizontal partition. Our horizontal partition is going to be 1 partition to make our 2 halves. We got an upper half and a lower half now. So now we have 1/3, and that 1/3 is equal to 1/3 times 2 halves, which gives us 2/6. We have 2 shaded in out of 6. So we have 1/3, and this 1/3 is going to be equal to 1/3 times, when we make our partitions, we're going to use 2 partitions to give us 3 horizontal parts. Now we have the 1/3 that's been split into 3/3. So 1/3 times 3/3. Remember, 3/3 is equal to 1 whole. So now we're going to multiply straight across. We say 1/3 times 3/3. 1 times 3 is 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. Alright, let's take a look at the next one here. So we have our same, let's give it a little separation here. We have our same 1/3. We're going to say that that 1/3 is equal to 1/3 times 4/4. If we want to make 4 horizontal parts, we need 3 horizontal partitions. So let's make our 3 horizontal partitions. 1 in the middle, and then 1 in the middle of the top half, and 1 in the middle of the bottom half. Now you can see my 1, 2, 3, 4/4. And when we multiply 1/3 times 4/4, 1 times 4 is 4, and 3 times 4 is 12. Alright, let's take a look at this last one here. We have our 1/3. We know that this 1/3 is going to be equivalent to 1/3 times 5/5, and that's going to give us 5/15. So let's go ahead and put our our horizontal partitions. Add those horizontal partitions. We're going to try to get 5 parts, so we're going to need 4 partitions. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once again, if we're multiplying by 5/5, we're multiplying by 1, because anything over itself equals 1. Remember, the division, fraction bar is a division sign, so 5 over 5 is the same thing as 5 divided by 5, which is 1. Same thing here. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So when we multiply our fraction of 1/3 by 1, we're getting the same thing. We're getting 1/3, but it's just in a different form. Let's take a look here. Remember, originally we had 1/3 when we put our horizontal partition. Now we have 1, 2 out of 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1/3 is equal to 2/6. Same thing here. 1/3, we had our 1/3. We multiplied it by 3/3 when we put our two partitions. Now we have 1, 2, 3 out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1/3 is also equal to or equivalent to 3/9. We had 1/3, then we partitioned it into 4 parts. So we have 4 out of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1/3 is equivalent to 4/12. Lastly, we had our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Originally, we had our 1/3. Then we partitioned it. Then we have 5/15. These are all of these fractions are equal. 1/3 is equal to 2/6, which is equal to 3/9, which is equal to 4/12, which is also equal to 5/15. All right, let's take a look at number 2 here. All right, number 2 asks us to use a folded paper. We're just going to plot the points because we don't have our folded paper. So we're going to plot the points of 0 and 1 above the number line, and then our 5 fractions, 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 below. So we know we have 0 and 1. All right. Now we're going to plot our fractions. We know 0/4 will be here. And we know that 4/4 is equal to a whole. Super important that you remember any number over itself is equal to 1. So 4/4 is equal to 1. So now we want to say, well, okay, where are the rest of our fractions going to go? We have our 0/4 and we have our 4/4. We still need 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. All right? So now we have to say, well, we need to split this one whole from 0 to 1 is one whole. We need to split it into 4 parts. 4 parts, I need 3 partitions. So I'm going to put one line in the middle, and I'm going to divide my first half in half, and my second half of the whole in half. All right, so now I have my 1/4 tick mark, my 2/4, and finally my 3/4. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at what they want us to do next. It says follow the same pattern as problem 1, but with fourths. So now we're going to just recreate what we did earlier. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to separate here so I can have some separation in my shapes. 4 rectangles are going to be separated by those lines. So now I know I have fourths. I want to show 1/4 on each one. So now you can see on each one of my 4 rectangular models here, I have 1/4. Each one, 1 out of 4 is shaded in. 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4, 1/4. So now what we're going to do is we're going to partition using horizontal lines. We're going to use 1 horizontal line here, or 1 horizontal partition, 2 horizontal partitions, 3 horizontal partitions, and 4 horizontal partitions. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at that first shape. When I make my first horizontal partition, now I split this into 2 halves horizontally. I have my bottom half and my top half. So what I did was I had 1/4, and now I'm showing that 1/4 is equal to my 1/4 times 2 halves. So I know that 1/4 is also equal to 2/8. All right, so let's take a look at our second rectangular model. So we have our 1 out of 4 shaded in, 1/4. 1/4 is equal to 1/4 times, now instead of making 1 horizontal partition, we're going to go ahead and make 2 horizontal partitions. When I make my 2 horizontal partitions, you see my three layers. You see a bottom layer, a middle layer, and a top layer. That represents my 3/3. Remember, 3/3 is still equal to 1/2. 3/3 is equal to 1/2. So when I'm multiplying 1/4 times 1/2, it's still going to give me 1/4. It's just in a different form. I didn't change this 1 out of 4 that looked like this. I just cut that 1/4 into 3 parts now. So now, instead of having 1/4, I have 3/12 shaded in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright? Next, we have our 1/4, and we're going to multiply it by 4/4. When I put my horizontal lines in, or my horizontal partitions, I need 4 parts. I need 3 lines to get 4 parts. 3 partitions give me 4 parts. You can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 horizontal parts. My bottom part, second from the bottom, second from the top, and my top. Okay? So now I'm going to say, well, 1/4 can also be called 4/16. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Last but not least, I have my 1/4 times, now I'm going to put 4 partitions to get my 5 parts. 4 partitions, 5 parts. If you notice, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and in each column is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to call that 5/5 when I made my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horizontal rows here. So now I have 1/4 is equal to 5/20. Once again, here's my 1/4. This is red, and it's the same thing. It's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So all of these fractions are once again equal. 1/4 equals 2/8. 1/4 equals 3/12. 1/4 equals 4/16, and 1/4 equals 5/20. Let's pick up the pace here a little bit. So we're going to continue the pattern with 4/5. So once again, our unit is fifths. So I know we're going to have my 0 and my 1. 4/5 is less than 1/2. So I can put 4/5 on a number line that only goes up to 1. We'll put my 0 here. And if we're talking about fifths, I know that 0 is equal to 0/5. And 1 is equal to 5/5. I need 4 lines to get my 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my first part, second part, third part, fourth part, and fifth part. I'm going to label each part. From 0/5 to 1/5 is my first part. 1/5 to 2/5 is my second part. 2/5 to 3/5 is my third part. 3/5 to 4/5 is my fourth part, and 4/5 to 5/5 is my fifth part of my whole. All right. Now let's go ahead and label all of these rectangles as fifths. All right. So we have everything created and set up as fifths. Each one of our 4 rectangles or squares is set up as 1/5. We have our 1/5 is equal to. So now we're just going to put in our horizontal partitions. First one is going to have 1 horizontal partition to give me my 2 horizontal parts. I have a bottom and a top horizontal part. So that's going to be our 1/5 is equal to 1/5 times 2 halves. And that gives us 2/10. So we know that 1/5 is equal to 2/10. Let's count. We got 1/10, 2/10. This would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tenths. Gives us our whole thing. Alright? Now we still have right here, we have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5 is equals my whole one whole, but I only have 1/5 shaded in. So 1/5 is equal to 1/5, and then I'm going to use my horizontal partition. Instead of one partition to get 2 parts, now we're going to use 2 horizontal partitions to get 3 parts. So you see, 3 is an odd number, so I'm going a little bit above half. The first line and my second horizontal partition. Alright, so now you can see my 1, 2, 3 horizontal stacks, if you will, or layers, if you will. Alright, so say 1/5 is equal to 1/5 times 3/3. Remember, 3/3 is equal to 1 whole. 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. So 1/5 is also equal to 3/15. Next we have our, let's label those 3/15. 1, 2, 3, out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's my 3/15. Next we have our 1/5, which is going to be equal to, we're just going to follow the same pattern here. We had 2 halves, 3/3, we're going to go with 4/4. So if I want to split this 1/5 into 4 horizontal parts, I need to draw 3 horizontal partitions. So 3 is going to be 1 in the middle, and then 1 in the middle of each half. There's 2 partitions, 3 partitions. So now you can see my 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is 4 out of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So 1/5 is also equal to 4/20. Last but not least, we know that we're going to have our 1/5 is equal to 1/5 times 5/5. And to get our 5/5, we're going to have to make 4 partitions. Will give us 5 parts. So we're going to put our 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines gives us 5 parts. And we have 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 1/5 times 1. 1/5 is equal to 1/5 times 5/5. 1 times 5 is 5. And then we have 5 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And we see that 5 times 5 is 25. If you notice, all of my numbers, 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So it's all, they're all skip counting. So we had 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had 10, 15, 20, 25. Skip count my 1s up top and my 5s at the bottom. Look for those patterns. Alright, last but not least, number 4 here. So now, this is where we change up a little bit. We're continuing the process, but now we're going to model 2 equivalent fractions of 9/8. 9/8. Let's take a look at that. 9/8. You should notice that 9/8 is greater than 8/8. And 8/8 is equal to 1 whole. So 9/8 is greater than 1 whole. Therefore, for each fractional part, we have to have a whole plus another whole for 2 wholes in this case. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this here. We can also break 9/8 down into 2 parts. We know that 8/8 is equal to a whole, and if we use up 8 of our 9, we have 1/8 left. So 8/8 is equal to 1 and 1/8. 1 whole are 8/8, and then we have 1/8 remaining. All right. Let's go ahead and put this on the number line. 2 ways to do this. I'll show you both ways. First way is the easiest way, where you just count out your 9/8, but don't forget you have 0/8 as well. So we would say 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 9/8. All right, so we have 0. This is not going to be 1. This is going to be 9/8. So if this is 9/8, then that means the fraction before it will be 8/8, which is equal to 1. All right? Of course, you can label all of these other fractions in as well. 8/8, 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. We forgot an 8 here, so let's go ahead and change these last. And if you make a mistake like this, make sure you write in pencil so that you can adjust. 7/8, 8/8 is equal to 1 whole, and 9/8. Alright, this is the way that you're more than likely going to do it, just because it's a little bit faster and easier versus the second way that I'll show you. Alright, so this is one way you can put it. The second way that I'll show you is where you say, well, I know that 9/8 is greater than 1. If 8/8 is 1, then I would double 8 to get my 2. So I have my 1, 2 on my number line, as well as my 0. So I'll say, well, I know from 0 to 1, I have to have 8 parts. 7 lines give me 8 parts. So I'm going to say 7 is going to be 1 in the middle of the whole, and then 3 on each half. 1 in the middle of the whole, and 3 on each half. So if 0 is 0/8, and 1 is 8/8, I know that 9/8 would be right here. I could go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and put my 8s in. My fractions. Do the same thing here. I know that if 1 is 8/8, 2 is going to double the 8/8 and be 16/8. So this would be 10/8, 11/8, 12/8, 13/8, 14/8, and 15/8. We're talking about 9/8. So let's go ahead and get our fraction bar set up. Our rectangular fraction model set up. So I know each one is going to be split into 8s, so I need 7 parts. It's 1 line in the middle and 3 lines on each half. I'm going to push pause just so I can duplicate this. Alright, so now I have all of my lines set up, and I wanted to bring us back together so that we can shade it in together here. So now let's take a look. I know I have 9/8 shaded in. So I know I'm going to have 8/8 on one whole. Remember we said 8/8 equals a whole. Whole shaded in. All 8/8 shaded in. And think about it. If a whole is equal to 8/8, how many more 8s do I need to shade in to get to 9/8? Hopefully you said 1. So I will have 1 more 8 to shade in here. Alright, so same thing here. I have my whole shaded in plus my 1/8. It's my whole, which is my 8/8. Remember, we're talking about a whole, and we're talking about our unit of eighths. So anything over itself equals a whole. In this case, I have 8/8 equal to my 1 whole. Alright, so let's look at our fractions now. We know that we said 8/8 is equal to a whole. Keep that in mind. So I have 9/8, and I know that 9/8 is equal to 9/8 times, if I want to make an equivalent fraction, I need to make a horizontal partition. In this case, we're going to start off with the easiest one, which is one partition to give us two equal horizontal parts. So if you notice my horizontal partition, now I have 1/2 at the bottom and 1/2 at the top. So 9/8 times 2/2, which is also equal to 1 whole, is going to give us 18/16. Alright, so keep in mind, now we see we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up top, and we'll have another 8 at the bottom. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 7, 18 shaded in. Remember, this 16 here is equal to 16/16, which is 1 whole. So I can say, well, 16/16 is equal to 1 whole, plus I have 2/16 remaining, equal to plus 16/16 plus 2/16 equals 1 and 2/16. You see my 1 whole box is shaded in here, and then I have 2 out of 16 shaded in here. Alright? Same thing on the second model. Instead of drawing one horizontal partition to get 2 horizontal parts, we're going to draw 2 horizontal partitions to get 3 horizontal parts. Not perfect, but we'll take it. Alright, so let's take a look at that. Now we have 9/8 is equal to 9/8 times 3/3. Remember, we have 1 horizontal third, 2 horizontal thirds, and 3 horizontal thirds. This is the horizontal thirds I'm talking about. That's 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we know that we're going to have 9 times 3 is 27, and 8 times 3 is 24. So we're going to have 27 24ths. You can see here that we have, I'm not going to put the numbers in because it's so small, but we can count them. We really could skip count by 3s and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we know that our units is 24ths. We have 24 out of 24 here, plus another 1, 2, 3 24ths. So you can see how we got our 27 24ths. It's 24 24ths, which is equal to 1 whole, plus 3 24ths, which is our final answer. Now we got our 2 equal fractions. Of course, this was our answer here. Alright, that is it, girls and boys. It's a rather long video. Hopefully it helps. Leave a comment, let me know that it helped you. I will be posting more videos this weekend. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Happy learning.